Hello everyone, I'm Animemaster and welcome back to another Sonic 1 hacking tutorial. Okay, so in this episode we are probably for now in this video kind of the last time we'll use SonMapED for now. We'll be straying a bit back to SonMapED 2 and then we might go back to it in the next video, or I might move on to something else completely. Not too sure yet. But for now, we are going to use SonMapED. We're going to carry on with some art editing. More importing now. I know you guys have been wanting you know, to see what I would do for basic sort of tutorial on how to actually import stuff, rather than just importing object art, which we've done, but actual level art. Before we do that, if you are following me, as in you're actually copying my work, then I would recommend to open SonMapED 2 and open up your Green Hill Zone project. Can be either one, can be Green Hill Zone Act 1, 2 or 3. All we need really now is a chunk, can be any chunk, whatever. And I'm actually, as you can see here, I've gone ahead and changed the tiles again. Now in the previous video I done like a kind of like a little bit of a fancy pattern. Now looking over it, I personally thought again this is a little bit too complicated, a bit too finicky. You know, it would be more awkward to use that and to use it for the indents here and everything. We only want it to be really simple, so I figured, well, I don't really want something that complicated. It was a bad idea on my part, to be fair. So what I've done is I've decided to change it into a diamond shape. As you can see, this is what I've done here. And then I've pretty much these are all the same, so I didn't need to do anything else. And I pretty much did repeat this for the inner wall bits here, the darker wall bits here, and all the way around. Now I haven't done it for everything yet, but I will do. So that's pretty much what I've decided to do. Apologies for that. If anyone's actually following me has actually managed to do that pattern for everything, then, well, I mean, if you have, then just leave it as it is. But if you haven't, then I recommend just simply change it to this. It's very simple. It's not, luckily I haven't done major changes. So hopefully, if you've just kind of done this and you haven't anything else out, sorry. If you haven't edited anything else at the moment, then just change it to this. Nice, simple, and then that's pretty much it. And then in your own time, you can just repeat the pattern, do what I did, and whatnot. Slight little tips in case anyone wants to know. It's things like the little inner bits here tend to be like. Look, this used to be a square, checkerboard square, and there used to be smaller squares here. So if you're doing like a diamond shape, try and do small diamond shapes here, so it looks like you're going, obviously it looks like it's going in rather than out. And I'll do something similar here for like the outer bits as well, just for tips in case anyone wants to know there. Okay, but that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to really say for SonMapED. Anyway, if you are following me. Now let's carry on with the actual tutorial. I got my files open here, but I'll just unload everything. Okay, so we're actually going to replace a little bit of the Green Hill Zone art again. We won't always stick to Green Hill Zone, but I'm just doing it because obviously it's the first level. But I will be, later as I go through it, I will be sort of spreading it out on the other levels, so the other levels can get a bit of a look as well. So we're not just obviously seeing Green Hill Zone as well, and so the other levels just get a bit of an edit as well. So yeah. Anyway, so open SonMapED, and the first thing we want to do is go to our files, go to ArtNem, and look for that green 8x8 Green Hill Zone. I'll use my copy for here. Now that's fine. That's like that for a reason. And then we want to load our palette. So go to primary palette, go to our palette file. Or folder I should say, and look for Green Hill Zone. There we go, and open. Now this might not originally look like what it should like for you guys, and if that's not the case, what we want to do is to go to settings up here, go to tile rendering, start with palette line 2, because palette line 2 is basically the FG palette for pretty much most of the, the levels, all the levels. So in this case, the foreground, palette line 2, the background is palette line 3. Okay. Technically palette line 4 is nothing. Palette line 1 here would originally be Sonic's palette line. Then palette line 2 is like normally for like rings and stuff and other things. I think even the spring I think it uses possibly there as well. So I'll just revert back to palette line 2. Alright, so what we're going to do is something very simple. Say for example I wanted to replace a bush or something. Well, let's say we want to replace the totem. Yeah, let's do that. So now luckily, because it's the totem, because I know what it looks like, I can see it down here. I know that this is pretty much all of the totem pieces right there. So you don't have to worry about that or anything. Let me just pull that down so we can see everything. Now if you want everything to be as it is, like for example if I piece these all together like so, if I say like I piece it like that, there's your totem, and you can say okay, that's what is that? That is 16 by 24, I believe. You could go to save image, export, find your file, and replace it with something else. And obviously, I can. Hang on, where are we? Can add that one. And that could be. I think that's 32. Is it 32 by 32? No, that's I think that's 24 by 16 by 40. Sorry. You can export that and then go, export it, go into paint, import over, done job. But in my case, this isn't the right size for me, and I'm not too bothered about the way it comes out. I mean, let's say if you want, because this would be a block, this would be a block, this would be a block in SonMapED too. So if you want everything to be the same, so you don't have to really edit the blocks, because obviously what you have to realize is that this is how the tiles are in SonMapED 2 and SonMapED. This is the tile file. This is pretty much what it is. And the blocks are obviously laid out like this. So if I were to do, say for example, we'll try and explain this a little bit better. Let's say for example I did that. That's all of the pieces, all the tile pieces. But that's not what it looks like. This is what it looks like. This is what we know. These are the blocks. This isn't what it is. So if I then import something over, it will look fine here, but the blocks would be all messed up. So I'd have to go into the tiles and go da 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 da. Now something small like this, I really don't mind because it's not so bad. When it's something like a tree, I try and keep it fairly simple, not too bad. A tree. Again, depending on how big it is, I try and keep it fairly simple as well. Obviously, if it's something bigger, then I try and keep things fairly minimal if I can. Try and make things easier, as much easier as I possibly can. If I can't, I can't. But I have to sort of do it a longish, sort of awkward way. In this case, I'm just, I'm not bothered. So I'm just going to delete that. And let's say, for example, this is what is this? This is a 24 by 32. Now there's a statue from Knuckles Chaotix that I want. It's like a little. I think it's like a part of a fountain. Now I've already exported it. So if I just go to my files, go to my SonMapED files, where are they? There we are. I've already exported it. Exported it. Yep. Where are we? Where is it? There we are. I called it Green Hills Totem because I replaced it. That's what I want to import. Obviously though, it's 24 by 40. That ain't gonna suffice. That ain't gonna work. There's no way. In this case, you can either add new tiles, I wouldn't quite recommend it in SonED, not SonED, sorry, in for Green Hill Zone, unless you know about animated graphics and you can change that, because there are blank tiles at the end of the file that are used for the flowers, for the animation for the flowers. So if you were to import something new, then that would overwrite the flower art. So be aware of that, which means you'd have to then go into the coding and change the location if you know, if you can find a location, if you know how to do that, you know, for it to load. Now that's kind of complicated. That's more programming side, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to use tiles that I know I'm definitely not going to use. Now I can either use these, which I think were unused in Sonic 1. They're just there. I'm going to use these. These are pretty much just more totem files. That's pretty much what it is. So I'm going to use this, and then I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to find the file. I'm not going to change the color or anything of the totem. Just going to leave it as it is. There's a SonMapED. Where are we? Where are we? We are here. There we go. Import. Lovely. So the thing I do like about SonMapED is that in some cases, that's not always. In some cases, it does try and adjust itself to the palette line. Now I'm quite happy with that. You know, that pretty much looks like what it would be converted anyway. So I'm quite happy with that. Obviously, if you want it perfect the way, you know, you want it slightly different or whatever, then you can obviously like copy this and copy the palette line, or you can actually, there is another way you can do it. You can actually export the palette line, not here but in another program which I'll get into, the Green Hill Zone palette or whatever, and then you can like load it in PaintShop Pro and then you can just alter it that way. But it's nice and simple, so I didn't even need to change anything, which is, you know, which is awesome. I don't need to do anything like that. So just so you guys know, I'm not going to save it because I've already done it. I'm going to open SonED 2. I'm just going to show you guys. I should be able to just go here. Yep. Where's the totem? Totem. Actually, if I've got a totem in the layout. If I drop down, there we go. Here we are. So go to blocks. Now I've already pieced everything together. As you can see here, these are all the blocks. But you may need to just go into your tile selector, go to the correct palette line here, and you know, look for them. Of course, if you struggle to find them, that's why I keep SonMapED open, so you can look at your files and say, okay, this is where it is, and then you look and you're like, ah, that's where it is. That's where the totem was, and that's where it is. And then you can start going to your blocks and piece them together, and then put them together like that, and then there you go. There is your totem. Now, something that's a little bit more complicated, as you may have seen, is the trees. A little bit more complicated because it's obviously a lot bigger. I did have to piece some of these together because obviously the shape and everything. If you get something that's a similar shape to the Green Hill Zone, maybe even matches it, you know, very similar, then you could pretty much maybe even just replace all the tiles the way the blocks are, and you wouldn't have to hardly edit anything. But you know, in a lot of cases, you may have to edit around certain things. You know, put the tiles. Put the little tiles, you know, in the blocks and correct a few things. Otherwise, you'll get something like this. But as you can see, I'm not like using all of it, so I'll fix that. That's fine. I've already got the blocks here. I just need to paste them all together. So anyway, we want to do a tree. One thing to note: the first tile is always a blank tile, just like for like the blankness of the background and whatnot. So don't edit anything there. And if you're trying to like add new tiles, like say for example you start from the beginning, deleted everything, and you want to add a tile, you want to leave the first tile blank always. Otherwise, your background's going to have all garbled up tiles all everywhere, and you're like, oh, I don't want this. So always leave it blank. Always leave it blank. You don't want to, you know, you don't want to ever edit that tile because that's blank. Use that. So, you know, don't use that there. Alright, so, you know, what we can do is we can have a look and say, oh, this is part of the branch, you know, and if we want to check, you know, let me go to an actual unedited green hill zone, which I do have right here. Ah. So yeah, you know, I can have a look and say, okay, this block is here, whatnot. Go to my tiles and say, okay, so this tile goes here, this goes there, you know, and you can obviously have a look and see what pieces together, and then try and piece them here, you know, in SonMapED. A lot of the time, luckily, they can be set up almost instantly, so I can have a look and be like, okay, I know that fits there. I think this goes here, you know, not sure about this. This goes, look, I think this goes like this. If you get what I'm doing, sort of like that, and then, you know, this goes like that. Does this go like this? I think on the lines of that. Yep, or more or less. I don't think that's quite. I don't think that's quite right, but that's more or less what it is. I think actually this might go up. Not this bit. Sorry. If I delete this and then do this, and I think it's this. This goes up higher. No, higher. No, okay, not that. But you get the general idea. That goes sort of like that, I think. And then I can go down here. And then I can get this. I know that's going to be sort of around there sort of thing. Go here. Get this. Can I go up? But you get the general idea. Like I say, I can go and look in here and piece them all together, you know, and get them the way it's, you know, basically it's supposed to be and whatnot. But you get the general idea. I think I then do this like so. There we go. And then that should just move up like that. There we go. We're already starting to get the green zone tree. So you can piece it together like that. Export your file. Again, I don't need to do it because I've already actually done it. So I'll just show you guys. Where is it? There we go. And again, I'm not altering anything because it's, you know, it's a closed palette. It's a close sort of palette to it anyway, so I don't need to do anything. I'm just going to revert back. I think is it number 4? Yeah, there we go. I've already done it. So I didn't need to use all the tiles, and I basically just basically got all the tiles and then just imported it all. Like I say, if you want to get it exactly, then, you know, you can piece all the pieces together and do it that way. But I weren't too bothered, so I basically just did that, and I've still got tiles to spare, so I could use these for something else. Then all you do, once you're done, save tile, Nemesis, always has to be Nemesis compressed, because it gets compressed. Go to your file, go to Artnam, go to Green Hill Zone, save. Don't need to save maps, because it doesn't use maps. Don't save palette line, because it will save it anyway. Unless you've actually altered the palette line. And then that's it. Close. And then, you know, obviously what you then do is you go into SonED 2, open your file. There we go. Open your file. Green Hill Zone. Go down. There we are. And, and obviously I've already done the blocks here again, so I've put them all together, pasted them all together, and then there you go. Just means, like I say, you have to go through the chunks and have to be like, let's get rid of all this and get rid of all that, and you're gonna have to do some editing. You're going to have to, guys. At the end of the day, it's unavoidable. You're going to have to do some of it, but at least we can like reduce some of it. We can reduce some of this. I figure I might as well just show you guys. Basically, just pasting all these bits together now because I've already done it. That's all you do. Now that's simple importing using SonMapED. Now I do like SonMapED because it's easier to import things. SonED 2 is a little bit more trickier. But that's pretty much it, guys. Anyway, I'm going to go to Sonic 1 Fresh and we build it. And that's yeah. So I'll just test the ROM. Hopefully it should be all good. And hopefully we can see our new art. And there we are, guys. As you can see, the trees are there. Obviously got our new edited tiles. Got the monitor there. And the totem. Sweet. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So, hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Hopefully this slight, import art, some of the art is helpful for you. In the next episode, we're basically going to import backgrounds. Yeah, so we're going to start actually importing some big stuff now. But we're going to go back to SonED 2 for a bit before we go into SonMapED again. Thank you very much, guys, for listening. If you have any questions, like I always say, please leave them in the comment section and I'll try and help you as best I can. And I will see you guys in the next Sonic Hacking tutorial. Take care.